Welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a challenge that, let's be honest, every single English learner runs into, closing that gap between understanding English perfectly and actually speaking it in a way that feels natural. So, let's dive in.
You know that feeling, right? You're in a conversation. You say something that's totally correct, grammatically perfect even, but it just lands a little weirdly. It sounds too formal, maybe a bit stiff. If you've ever felt like that, well, you are in exactly the right place.
We call this the natural English gap. It's that tricky stage where, sure, you can understand TV shows, you can read articles, but when it's your turn to talk, the words just don't have that easy conversational flow. Today, we're going to start bridging that gap for good.
So here's our game plan. We're going to walk through 4 essential keys to make your English sound way more natural. We'll look at some natural-sounding verbs, powerful word pairs, phrases for giving your opinion, and even some modern tech talk. And then we'll get to the most important part, how you can actually practice this stuff.
Okay, first up, phrasal verbs. Honestly, these are like the secret sauce of everyday English. You probably see them all the time when you're reading, but the real magic happens when you start popping them into your own speech. Let's kick things off with a classic.
So, let's talk about run out of. This one is everywhere, and it just means you've used all of something up. Simple. You can run out of milk, you can run out of time on an exam, you can even run out of patience. The structure couldn't be easier. It's just run out of, and then whatever it is you don't have left. Nice and simple.
Now here's a really common mistake you want to watch out for. A lot of learners will add an extra word, like got, and say something like, I got run out of coffee. But the natural, correct way is so much simpler. I ran out of coffee. That's it. Just keep it clean and direct.
Okay, here are 2 more that can be a little confusing. Give up and end up. To give up just means you quit something, but end up is all about the final result, especially when it's unexpected. This example just nails the difference. Maybe you gave up on learning piano, but in the process you discovered you love to cook and ended up becoming a fantastic chef. See? One is about stopping, and the other is about where you finally arrived.
Let's jump to our second key, these powerful word pairs we call collocations. Basically, these are just words that native speakers think sound right together. They just fit. And getting these down is a huge shortcut to sounding more authentic.
So what exactly is a collocation? Think of it like a friendship between words. They just hang out together all the time. You might be grammatically correct using a different word, but to a native speaker, it'll just sound a little off. Nailing these is a total game changer for your fluency.
Let's look at a classic example. Strict versus harsh. They both kind of mean severe, right? But check out the words they hang out with. We use strict for things that have to do with discipline, like a strict diet or strict rules. Harsh, though, we use for things that feel punishing or extreme, like harsh weather or harsh criticism. A strict diet is disciplined. A harsh diet, well, that sounds downright cruel.
And it's the exact same idea with heavy and light. We're not just talking about lifting weights here. You can have a heavy meal, meaning it's really big and filling, or heavy traffic, meaning there are a ton of cars. The logic when you think about it is really about volume or intensity, whether it's literal or not.
Okay, on to our third key. This one is all about discussions. When you have a few of these key phrases in your back pocket, you can sound so much more confident and organized, even if you're still figuring out exactly what to say next.
Oh, this is such a great one for work meetings. You know when a conversation gets totally bogged down in tiny, unimportant details? You can be the one to say, okay, looking at the big picture, and boom, you shift everyone's focus back to the main goal. It makes you sound super strategic.
This one right here is essential for disagreeing without starting an argument. It shows you're actually listening. You start by validating what the other person said. I see your point, and then you introduce your own idea. It turns a potential confrontation into a collaborative conversation.
So, what if you want to share an opinion, but you don't want it to sound like a hard, absolute fact? Generally speaking is perfect for that. It softens your statement, and it shows that you know there might be exceptions. Like saying, generally speaking, flexible work hours improve morale. It just sounds more thoughtful and measured.
All right, for our fourth and final key, let's get super practical. We're going to cover some must-have vocabulary for talking about the world we live in right now, specifically technology and how we work.
Indispensable. Oh, this is such a great word. It means way more than just important.
If something is indispensable, it means you literally cannot do your job or live your life without it. For a lot of us, our phone is indispensable for work. It communicates total, absolute necessity.
Let's clear this one up once and for all. Skim versus scan. They're both about reading quickly, but they're different. You skim an article just to get the main idea, the overall gist of it. But you scan a document when you're looking for one specific thing, like your gate number on a boarding pass. So skim for the big idea, scan for the tiny detail.
And here's a really fun, casual one for you. You say this when you see something that gives you a sudden, strong feeling of nostalgia. You know, you see an old video game or hear an old song and you just say, with a smile, "Whoa, an old Nokia phone? Now that's a blast from the past."
So there you have it, 4 powerful keys to sounding more natural when you speak English. But, and this is a big but, just knowing this stuff isn't enough. Now comes the most important step, turning all this information into a real skill.
And this is the absolute truth right here. Fluency isn't built from memorizing word lists. It's built from actually using the language. You have to take these phrases and start weaving them into your own sentences, talking about your own life. That is how they stick. That's how they become second nature.
So I'm going to leave you with a direct challenge. Don't just click away from this. I want you to pick one thing, just one, that you learned today. It could be a phrasal verb, a word pair, any phrase. And I want you to make a conscious effort to use it in a real conversation today. So what's it going to be?